Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to show you our next project that we're doing in our yard. There's a light post here. This is the end of our driveway. All right, we have a gravel driveway here. And we have a light post here. And we're going to be using these blocks. So I'll show you a couple of the walls that we built here with these blocks, along with this paver base that I like to use. I bought all of this at Home Depot. The blocks are about $2 a piece, and the paver base is about $4 a bag, something along those lines. And so we've gone ahead and laid out what we're going to do here. And so we're going to put a wall in here, probably 4 blocks high. I think those blocks are, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches. So we're going to be up, 16 inches, 16 to 20 inches, somewhere in that area of the world up here. We're going to end up filling it in with dirt. And I wasn't planning on doing this initially. So when I put my, the sonotube down, this was how high it was. So, but I'm going to end up raising the post here high enough. I don't know exactly how high, but you can raise it using some couplings. So on the actual bolt here, I'll run a coupling and then come up with another steel rod on all 3 of these, and that will allow me to raise it up. So that'll get the post up high enough that it'll still look like it's supposed to look. And so we've gone through and we've drawn a circle here using a piece of string and some paint for the circle that we're going to use. And then we have two lines here, but we're going to be using the outer one because we want to have a little bit of a kind of a kidney shape that we're going to use. Not really a kidney, but an odd shape just to make it look decent. We're going to come around and tie it into the hill here. So it's hard to see here, but this is actually a hill going up. And so right there where you see the white line end, 4 blocks should go in and end right about there. And then this whole area here that we're doing will get filled in with dirt, plantable dirt, so we can have another planter. So I'll show you a few of the other ones that we've done here, just to give you an idea of what we're doing. That was our greenhouse project. So if you don't know that, take a look at it. That was a lot of fun. So this is one of the walls here. This is 3 bricks here, but there's actually a brick that's buried into the ground to give it a top, something to sit on. So there's actually 4 bricks there. So that's our initial one. This was a walkway that we did along with these bricks to give us a planter here. And then it's hard to see, but that's another one of those light posts that we planted a vine and it's grown up around it. And so you can see here, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks there. So we're gonna probably go 4 or 5 blocks, we're not sure. I mean, obviously it's based on, how much the ground drops from where you were. So stick around, that's our project. Hey guys, I'm just back here doing a little bit of work on the side of my yard here. So when we first moved in here, this whole area up here was completely clear. We have a big tree right here. So this is a hill, it's not a steep hill, but it's a hill that goes up. And then there's actually a flat spot up there that at some point I'd like to build another, some form of a patio, somewhere to sit up there, maybe a screened-in gazebo or just a screened-in house, I'm not really sure. But it kind of overlooks, a lot of our property here. And, it's high up, so it's a really pretty view. So just to explain to you what I've done, I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera here. See here. So this is it here. This space that you see here, I've already gone ahead and cleared out. And how I've done that is earlier this summer, I was looking on Craigslist for one of these DR trimmers. So I found this DR trimmer for, as I remember, $300. And it was brand new. The guy said that he purchased it just to do a job on his property. And it took him about 10 hours. It looked brand new to me. There wasn't even a speck of dust on it. The filter was clean and everything was great. So, it was a great deal because I think they run about $600 or something like that. So, and then I bought the beaver blade. That's the blade you see there. And that's a chainsaw blade. So there's a chainsaw attached to it. And it cuts everything up to 3 inches like butter. So, this area here that you see that's cleared out, it's, I'd say it's 30 foot by 8 foot. Might have taken me 10 minutes. And that included dragging all the other stuff out. So it was really, really great. I got a couple rocks, that I've had to move. So that's one of those things. If you're going to do this, kind of know your property. Know that there are some rocks there because you definitely don't want to hit a rock with that beaver blade. It just will send sparks flying, I'm sure. So what I'll do is I'm going to start this engine up, and I'll give you an example of, you know, how it just easily cuts something down. So I'll move this up here a little bit. And I'm just going to set it right in front of this little tree here. So you can see this tree here. I'd say it's about an inch. All right, there's no rocks around it. So I'll start this up. Just push this down. This starts in one pull every time. Pull this. Now it just came down. So once again, you can just go along. Hit it, it's down. I see a rock in there, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but that's just how quick these come down. You know, this one here, and down. And it rides on a little ball, and there's a brake on it. So on the bottom of the blade, there's a ball that keeps it up off the ground about an inch. And that's the stub, or the stunt, just the stump of the tree. And that's sticking out, you know, that's my fingernail right there. See if you can see it. So it's pretty close to the ground. Enough that, you know, if you step on it, you're not going to trip over it. So hopefully those will rot out at some point. But our intention here is to fill the front part of the hill here with a ground covering kind of flower, so it should just cover the whole ground here, and it's a blue flower. So, you know, we're going to try to plant it all the way from over here, you know, all the way across there. So if it does come out, you know, we'll give you an update on that. If not, you know, this is probably all the video you're going to see. So, all right, guys, thought I would just show you that. Thanks. I've gotten a little lazy, so I want to dig less. So I actually have this auger. I use it for my other business that I have to dig posts down, so I can hang cameras up on 12-foot high posts. So it works really, really well. Unfortunately, we're here in the Granite State in New Hampshire, and everywhere you dig, you hit a rock or multiple rocks. So I'm going to go ahead and use this initially to dig down, and then we'll level it, you know, with some other tools. So this is brand new. I just bought it. I really haven't used it. I've used other ones in the past for that same. I got tired of renting them, so turn it on. That should get me started. Just gonna set this over here because I don't want it to flood. So in case you're asking, I bought this off of Amazon. I think it was 275 bucks. Came with 3 different blades. This is the first time I've used this one. Like I said, I've rented other ones for other projects that I've had, but this one, I'm really impressed with it, what it just did. I mean, it's got a lot of power, enough that it might torque out of my hands. So it's just a very generic Chinese copy of something. So, you know, I wouldn't spend a ton of money on some of the other ones. So once I get that done, I'm just gonna take this tool and pull it back. I'll do is I'll find my lowest point, which I believe is right about here. And then I'm going to stop this somehow back here. I don't know exactly how. I might just bring this up and tie it into this rock here. Leave the rock and tie this wall into it. So I'll find my lowest point, and then I'll keep digging around. And then as I keep putting blocks in, as I get higher, I'll stop digging down, and my next block will start level with the other one. So rather than having, digging, so that's my high point. So I'm not going to have that high point level with this. As I dig along, once I get to a point where I've gone up a little bit, I can stack another block that will be level with the top of that one. And so that's how we'll do it. Because the difference between there and here is probably, I haven't measured it, but I bet it's about a foot. So I would be burying 3 blocks in the ground up there, so we don't want to do that. So once I get my first block set, okay guys, so I've dug about 10 feet of my trench that I'm going to be laying these blocks in here. All right, I'm down probably 5 or 6 inches in most places. Where I'm at, I just hit a ton of rock. And actually, when I did the lighting myself, so my wire runs right up along the edge of the driveway right up there. So I'm going to be probably sitting on top of some of my wire there. I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try to stay to the left of it over here. But I don't need to go down real deep. And the other walls that I built are the exact same way. I dug down about 5 or 6 inches, put down this paver block. So once again, this is the bag that I use. It's called Pave Stone Paver Base. All right, and it works really, really well. So I usually put probably 5 inches of paver base underneath each block. So when you look at the block here, you can see through the level that it's not level at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass the phone off and show you how I level it. So through the level, I can see the back side needs to go and this side needs to come down. So I'm just going to tap there a little bit. I'm nearly level at this point. So this side is still a little high. Excuse that spider. Probably went a little more than I should have. Tap this side. That's level there. This level here, I have to bring the back side down just a little bit. This is a dead blow hammer. You definitely want to use one of these. So let's see. That's good. And that's pretty good. So to me, that block is pretty level, and that's just my starting block. You got to lay one block down. So that's my one block. I'm going to continue it in this direction here and continue it that way. But this is my lowest point that I could see in my in this project. So I'm going to set a couple more bricks, and when I come back, I'll show you what I've done. Okay guys, so this is the end of our day. It's getting late. Bugs are pretty bad this late at night, and just showing you a little bit what we got done. So we have 9 blocks that are buried, right now, that are set, which is really, really great. We worked about an hour and a half tonight, so this was between kind of laying everything out, and digging and then leveling. So it takes me about 5 minutes or so, 5 or 6 minutes to put a block down, to get the paver base down, and to just use a dead blow hammer and level it. So this project, I figured 48 blocks as a base, and then we're gonna stack 4 blocks on top of it. So that's about what we're gonna do. So I'll bring you back tomorrow when we make more progress. Thanks. Okay guys, so this is the next day, all right, and I'm starting back here. I've leveled a couple more blocks, and yeah, I made a dumb mistake. I had to turn all the blocks over because they were wrong side up. So make sure that your flat side is up and not the side that has the ridge on it that locks it into the next level. All right, and so what I've done here is I've come along to this point, all right, and now I start rising here. I'm going up a little bit of a hill. It's not a steep hill, but it's a little bit, and I have zero desire to keep burying blocks. So at this point, the next block will actually be about we'll go into the ground about an inch. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pack a lot of that paver base into it and stack it on top. So it should be completely level with the next one. And I'll show you how that we're going to do that. Okay, so what I've done is on my last block, I stacked another block on top of it. So the block that's to the left here is sitting on top of a block that I've already set. And then next to it is a new block sitting on top of the paver base. And all I'm gonna do is level that block with this block. So, and then I'll continue from there. And as I go up the hill, I know you can't see it, you know, I think that I'll have to do it one more time to make the top of the hill there. You know, it's not real steep, but it's likely more than, you know, these are 5-inch pavers. So it probably has a rise of more than 5 inch, and I'm not independently wealthy, so I have zero desire to bury blocks that you're never gonna see, especially when the paver base does a good job. I'll bring you back once I get that done. Okay guys, so I went ahead and leveled this space. So you can see the block, and then over here you can actually see where there's more space that was leveled. But what you have to do is you have to understand that the next row up goes in between the two blocks. So there's gonna be a block that's sitting in between here. So they don't sit on top of each other, they sit midway. So you have to start your next row halfway through. So that's what I've done. So I'll carry that row through, and then I'll just, once again, keep moving up through the trench. I'll probably bring you back when I get closer to the rock, which is where I'm gonna meet up. Okay, so I made my way all the way out to the rock, all right? And I'm starting to stack my blocks here. I'm thinking to go up 4 rows, so, but we'll see. I might go a 5th row. And then I'm gonna have to move the light up a little bit. I'm gonna have to just finagle that a little bit in order to go up. It's not gonna be too difficult. I'll show you once I get there how I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna just try to finish out to kind of this corner here, because we have our own greenhouse. If you see on my channel, you know, I did a video on our Harbor Freight greenhouse, and we have so many plants coming out of it. We need another place to plant, because as you can see with my house here, you know, I've got all these planters here. That's there, and that one's up there. They're pretty full. There's one way in the back underneath that window, the double window down there, and they're getting pretty full, so we need another place to start putting them. So, you know, my goal here is over this weekend is to get, you know, basically up to this kind of corner here, you know, finished. And then I'm gonna zoom back in here, you know, get that finished, fill it in with dirt so we can just start planting there. And then I'll continue along, get that done. This hill is gonna need a lot of work to become presentable. So we'll get that done before we fill it in with dirt. And I'll just keep bringing you along. Okay guys, so I'm at the end of this day. I've got about 2.5 hours into this. So I think in total, somewhere around 5 hours to get to this point. So, you know, I think if I had all the block, unfortunately my trailer can't carry enough block to do the whole thing. It's got a limit of 1,675 pounds. So, you know, basically I can carry 80 blocks or something like that at a time. So I'll probably have to make 2 more trips to get it done. But you can see here, I've gone up 5 blocks. That's about the height that I'm actually looking for. And that actually matches the other one that I have, you know, the other post. I'll try to zoom in from here over there. That's also 5 blocks there. And yeah, that's actually a light post. There's just a vine that grew up with it, and we actually love that vine, so we're gonna leave it there. So coming back to here, you know, I put my level on between there and there. And then, you know, if you're real careful, that's what you'll get. So I'm gonna leave that for today, and I'm gonna go out, buy more blocks and a few more supplies, and, you know, just carry on. Thanks for. Hey guys, welcome back. Another day at this. So just gonna show you some of the progress we made. So this is where we started, coming around, and once again, I'm gonna raise the light post up to meet the bottom of the dirt, you know, and then this is all new stuff. So I will stack the blocks all the way around. This is just where I've gotten to today. You know, so coming through to here. And then I actually want to show you what I'm going to be doing here, because I'm coming up to a point where this area here, you know, slopes upward, and I don't really want to bury bricks, you if I can help it. So I'm coming up to a point where I would start to be burying them. So what you need to do if you want to step up a brick so you're not continually digging down, way down, is you have to finish the row. So that's why I stacked a block on top of it. And so what I'll do next is the next block. And so you don't want to estimate it, because you don't want to just put a block, the one block on here, because, if you try to stack backwards, you'll never make it, it's just not going to work. So make sure that you stack all the way from where I did here and all the way back. And now I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'll just take a block. And then you stack it right there on top of that, and then you level it. And then from there I can just continue along with a new row. And this way I'm not burying blocks that I don't need to bury, and I'd have to dig down twice as deep. So I'm going down about 7 inches, 6 or 7 inches, something like that. And you can see it's nothing but rock here where I'm at. I feel like these people just never saw a rock they didn't want to take home and bury in their yard. So, prior to me purchasing this property. So I thought I'd show you how that's done. And that way, if you decide that you don't want to bury, block after block after block, you'll be in the same, you'll understand how I did it. Because if you continue to just, right here, if I slid that over the 4 inches that it's covering, then as you start to stack blocks on top of it, you'll find that when you get to this point that it doesn't match up, and you'll have to cut a block in half to fill. So, and you don't want that, so stack your blocks along, get to the point where you're at, and then level that, and now you can continue on. All right, once again, I'll show you just about when I'm done, or when I'm completely done. I'm continuing around here and then up along where this big rock is, but then I'm going to continue it up this hill a little bit to tie it into the hill, and then back over there along that hill I'm going to put a rock wall in to come down and meet this rock, and then this will just all be garden in here. We'll dig this down, so it should be really pretty. Hey guys, we're back at it today, my wife and I, and we're digging this hill out. It's nothing but rock, like tiny little rocks. We've pulled, I don't know, I'm gonna say thousands, at least thousands out. A lot of them we've buried here. So we're gonna take the hill here. I know it's hard to imagine, like if I brought you level with the wall, this is level with the wall, that's the hill. I would say up to the stump is probably, 7 feet up, straight up. Not straight, but fairly steep. So we're gonna be taking off basically where you see right here. I'm gonna be cutting a line out there, tying into this rock and coming back down and tying in to the end of the wall here. And so when I was researching a few years ago on how to do these walls, I found some really good information. And so I built my first 2 or 3 walls. And then I brought my dirt in, and nobody in any of those videos said, put this, garden screen, the mat up against it to keep the dirt from going through. And so what happens is when it rains, all your dirt comes through all your openings here. So if you're building a wall, make sure you put this stuff up against it, or you get all your dirt just, your bricks are just always dirty. So I had to dig all the way back out around my other gardens, along the edge, and put this stuff in. So it was another whole project. So you can see what we're doing here. We're just gonna bring that down, and I'm gonna leave this side of the wall right here open. So this is the whole project. I'm gonna leave this open before I finish it, to be able to run a wheelbarrow in, and we're gonna have dirt delivered, so some nice topsoil delivered. Probably gonna put down 6 to 8 inches of topsoil. So that's why I'm leaving this open, and then once it's all done, we'll fill it in. I'll bring you back as we make progress. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, gonna give you a quick update here. So the rock wall is nearly done. It looks better in person than it does there. I think maybe if I get down lower, it might look a little bit better. So what I've done so far is, we filled in, there's a big pile of dirt there. That was 5 yards of dirt that I had delivered. Probably gonna have a little extra, but there's plenty of space in my house where I need more dirt, so that's not gonna be an issue. And I haven't filled here yet because I still have to raise that light post up. So what I've done so far is I've just filled in this area here. And what we did is we left this side open here. So we have this cart here, and we've just been trucking it through here you know, filling that up. And the dirt pile is close enough out there that we can just throw it in, I believe. You know, it shouldn't be too difficult to just, you know, shovel that in, you know, that dirt pile into here, you know, pretty easily. So we shouldn't need to have to truck that in. So I thought I'd just bring you back, show you what we're doing, you know, how we're doing. And right now I'm gonna end up closing the side up. So I'm gonna be bringing this, you know, right here, I'm gonna be bringing that around and meeting up with that rock wall. So once I'm done with that and I got it filled with dirt, I will bring you back. Okay guys, so here's the final project. So as you can see, you know, we did this garden all the way around. We have planted some flowers that we bought at Home Depot. We do have our own greenhouse, but this was a late project for us, and so we hadn't planned on any more planting, or we would have grown all of our own flowers. So just going over the project one more time. I believe I have about 180 blocks that I purchased. They're a little over $2 a block. They're like $2.09 or $2.10, something like that a block. You know, so if you do the math, that's what I paid for the blocks. There's 22 bags of paver base underneath the blocks, you know, to give it a good base, and those are about $4 a bag, as I remember. So 88 bucks, maybe 90 bucks for a bag, you know, for that stuff. The dirt delivered, I had 5 cubic yards or 5 yards delivered, and that came down to $177 delivered. And so you see all of that. We've spread that all out here in the front here. This has all grass seed in it now, you know, went all the way over there. And then we have a huge bucket of it left that we're going to use for planters. So you can see I did raise the light post up, which I think I did go through that with you. And then there's the outlet that I had to raise up too. So luckily that outlet, the pipe goes down underneath and ties into the concrete that's below it through a pipe, you know, through the pipe. So I was able to pull the wire out of it and just run a longer wire through it and then make the connection in the light post. So that's all done. I do plan on putting in landscape lighting throughout. I have a bunch of that, and I do hardwire it. I don't use the solar stuff. You just get a better, you know, light output with the AC stuff that you run. So that's the final product, or project I should say. There's the light all the way to the top. And now back, my wife planted these blue flowers. It's a ground cover, so it's like an ivy, but it's, you know, it's a ground cover, so it's going to be thousands of blue flowers in the background. So everything that you see that's black, or, you know, the dirt you see back there, all the way through to where the rock right here meets the wall is going to be all blue flower, you know, ground cover up there. So it should be gorgeous. All right, so, you know, once again, this is not what I do for a living. You know, I do electrical work. So, you know, I would encourage you to do your own work. You know, if you have a couple shovels, a pickaxe, and a level, you know, in a little bit of time, you know, you can accomplish something like this. And I bet I have, with the flowers included that we had to buy, there's less than $800 here. And I'm sure if I had a landscape company do it, it would be in the thousands, you know, $3,000 or $4,000 to do something like this. So do it yourself, buy your tools, and then you have the tools the next time. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Okay guys, so here's the final project. So as you can see, we did this garden all the way around. We have planted some flowers that we bought at Home Depot. We do have our own greenhouse, but this was a late project for us, and so we hadn't planned on any more planting, or we would have grown all of our own flowers.